Hi Adam, thanks so much for your week 2 submission. It's really great to get some work in from you. I've got it up on screen and I'm just going to talk to your work, and I'd love you to also read the email that I've sent you that gives you an indication of where you're currently standing in terms of marking against the criteria. So once you've watched the video, which shouldn't take too long, if you've still got questions or need clarification about your result and where you're standing and what you need to do to improve, please just shoot me off an email or give us a call. So I've got your design brief up here, and I've also included it as an attachment so that you can, just make some changes. It's pretty good, I was pretty happy with it. I thought it was pretty clear. I kind of get what you're doing and why, and it's very simply written, which is what the design brief is meant to be. It's just a working document, explaining what you need to do. The main sort of key element or key thing I want you to think about, it's just gone small for some reason, is I really need you to explain what your final design is going to be presented like. So look, you may not even know, but I'm assuming for a cabin design, because it's an architectural design brief, you're going to need to have an orthogonal drawing, which in architectural terms means a plan and an elevation of your cabin design, and it should be with measurements and it should be to scale. And this will just be a black and white drawing, which you'll probably do in, black pen on bleed-proof paper. You may also decide to include a fully rendered isometric drawing, which will show us a three-dimensional view of the cabin and what it looks like. So with that in mind, I just want you to add that detail to your design brief so that when I go to mark your design brief and then I mark your final presentations, I actually look at what you've said in your design brief and I look at your final presentations and I say, well, have you actually done what you said you were going to do in the design brief? And you are marked on that, so it's really important that you are as clear and as explicit about what the final presentations are going to look like. Now, scrolling down, I'll just minimise this a little bit so I can see everything. You'll see I've made a note there. I actually did see these pages, this work, back in week 14 and 15. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 ideas. I have to scroll down a bit because it's a bit out of order. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 10, 10. Do we have any others? 11, 12, 13, 14. So you've got about 14 logo ideas, which, is about right. But, look, visualisation sketches are meant to be loose, but these are probably just a little bit lacking in detail. And I think the comments I made back in week 14 and 15, and I've made a note of it here again as well, you just can't use handwriting when you're indicating type, because type is such an important part of a logo design. Any logo that you see, you'll notice that there's different type styles that have been selected. So think again about your client. If you were to show these to your client and then say, hey, which idea do you want to run with here? I think your client might be a little bit confused because there's not a lot of variation in type style. So, it's really important where possible to show what sort of typeface you're using. You don't have to be really detailed, but just give some indication of what it's going to look like. Is it going to be thick? All of this type that you've presented is all the same thickness. So at the very least, Adam, just show us the variation in thickness of the type style. That would be really good. You can add colour too, Adam, at this stage. With your visualisation sketches, it really helps to make things pop. You've got circles here, so let us know by using colour. Is it I'll get my tool up, and I'm using a mouse, so you've got to forgive me, it's not very precise. Is this the bit that's a figure element and coloured in, or is it this bit that's coloured in? Just indicate really quickly. Is it this bit here that's coloured in, or the bit in the middle that has the colour? Are these thick lines here, or are they, thin lines, single thickness? So if you can make those sorts of improvements to your visualisation sketches, you're going to get a much better mark. Now, scrolling down to your cabin design, I really like the creativity that you've shown here with the shape and form. This wave roof is wonderful. Again, I saw these back in week 14 and 15, so what I would have hoped you would have done was just add the annotations to explain, you know, what this curved roof is all about, what you're inspired by, what you were thinking, what the shape here is all about. Talk about why you've added a window here. Talk about letting light into the space. You know, that's really important with building design, is about maximising light into the area. Again, you know, I've seen some of these. We've got 2 stories here. You didn't specify that in the design brief, so, and that's fine, but maybe just mention that you're looking at 2-story options. You know, I said this back in week 14 and 15 too. I really like this open space you've got here to connect 2 different areas. You know, you might have a living space over here and then the bedrooms on this side. So just explain some of those decisions with your annotations. This was great. You know, these are really fantastic cabin designs that you've researched. But again, you haven't annotated. So you've got to add those annotations, Adam, because they're the only way that we know what you're thinking about. We can look at a whole bunch of images, but they don't mean much without the annotations. Same again here with your logos. You know, these are all appropriate. They're fantastic. There's some great things going on here. You know, look at the different typeface. Look at the kerning that's here. And kerning is the space between the letters. And you'll see there's a lot of kerning. It's very open. It's a very open sort of typeface. You know, compare that to how closed the space is between the type here. Look at this. This is very tight and crowded. Big 4. You know, that's interesting. Why have they crowded the letters that way? Is it to make the letter form look really bold and imposing? Here, you know, they've used a symbol inside the actual letter form, or typography, I should say, which is really good. This is a very formal sort of typeface. It's very elongated. Does this mean that it's more of an expensive holiday park? I'm not sure. What do you think? Let us know. Victor Harbour, you know, look at the type style here. It's very sort of casual, almost handwritten. So is this telling us something about the park? Is it a casual, family-friendly place? Talk about those things. Talk about the shapes too. You know, this is obviously a shape influenced by the flora of the area. Talk about the colour that's used. There's a lot of yellow here because obviously yellow represents the sun, it represents summer. So make some of those discussions in your annotation. Let us know, Adam, how well you understand the elements and principles of design and how these things actually, you know, help convey the ideas and messages behind a logo design. Just scrolling through, I think, you know, there's some good ideas happening here, but the quality of the sketches just needs to be improved a little bit. They're just a little bit too rough. And the other thing I wanted to say, Adam, is, you know, you don't have to be precise. I can see you're, you know, trying to be really careful. I don't even know if you've used a ruler here, but, you know, with visualization sketches, you don't have to be that careful. Just be a bit rough. Don't worry if the lines aren't straight. It's fine. It's just about conveying ideas. Okay, I don't know why I've put the self-assessment sheet up, but anyway, it's really good that you filled that out. Oh, I remember why I did this. You actually, oops, you added something there. You actually indicated that you've done annotations, which I thought was interesting. So you gave yourself a medium and high. So, you know, are your annotations somewhere? Have you typed them out on a Word document that I haven't seen yet? So if you have, send them in. I really want to read what you've written, because you indicated once that you really like learning about the elements and principles of design. So I'm assuming you've got those annotations somewhere and you just have to include them. That's all for now, Adam. Keep the work coming. Keep working on it. Give yourself a block of time to work on VisCom. You need to really step on it now because it's week 6, and, you know, if you were on the schedule, we'd be up to refinement by now, and you're not up to that stage. The work I've seen sort of suggests that you've still got to polish up your idea generation and then go on to design development, which is weeks 3, 4 and 5 on the website. So you've got to, you know, really get cracking, I think.